Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson, and I'm joined by Charan, the star of the worldwide phenomenon RRR from director SS Rajamouli. Ram, this film's one of the highest grossing to come out of India, and you've been an actor and a star there for quite some time, but what feels different about this film and the reception it's received worldwide?
I mean, just being part of a film like this, it is so satisfying and gratifying as an actor. And we already experienced the the reception of this film in India when it released, and I thought, damn, we can't get bigger than this. And then we see when it released in the West and in LA and Hollywood, I just felt you guys told me again that this is just the beginning. And it is really satisfying to see as an actor being appreciated globally. And it's high time we all start exchanging our talent, and it's happening with RRR. I hope I get to see myself more in your theaters.
Yeah. And it was nominated for 2 Golden Globes, 1 Best Song, and you're nominated now for Critics' Choice Awards.
Wow.
And I'm curious, what was it like just to be at the Golden Globes, and what was the party and celebration like for you all to be there?
I mean, it was such a surreal moment. As kids, we were watching glued to TV when every time these awards happen, and it was an unbelievable experience just to be in midst of all the stars who we grew up watching, and being there not just as a guest but as one of the nominees for our great music director, a composer, Mr. Cream, who deserved every bit of this, and to share the stage with him and this table and sit there was such a unique experience for all of us.
Yeah. When you got this script initially, and you've worked with SS Rajamouli before, what did you think when you saw it? Were you like, this is crazy, or were you like, I can't wait to do it? What were your thoughts?
Yes, the first reaction was, I can't wait to do it. And I thought it was one of the best scripts out of the movies he has written personally, along with his father, Mr. Prasad. It was one of the best well-written subjects coming from his team. And I felt when I heard the narration, I felt a sense of a roller coaster ride and different genres coming together. It was an action, it was drama, it was a bit of thriller and musical. So it is so difficult as a maker, I'm sure, for him to bring so many genres together and make it convincing, and still and hit it out of the park like this.
And there was pressure because it was one of the most expensive films to make as well, and it paid off because it's really become a hit. Did it feel like there was pressure when you were all working on it?
I mean, I think the maximum pressure, I'm sure it was on Mr. Rajamouli's shoulder,
Yeah.
who was heading as the captain of this film. For us, I think the only pressure was to always think and introspect whether you are hitting the right chord which Rajamouli expects from you. And that was the only pressure. Apart from that, it was such a big production, but it was very well taken care of by his team. And I think they had taken all our pressure, but yes, as an actor, just to give the right performance which he expects from us. Strategy.
And it's so physical. I'm curious, what was your physical preparation like to prepare for this movie, to get your body in that kind of condition to do all the things that you had to do?
I don't know if you're a main star of the show in Rajmouli's film, you better be your best shape. Otherwise, I don't think you have a place there. He expects, because he is here not to give a message, but here he is to give entertainment at its best. So it is like the movie La La Land coming and meeting the Marvel Avengers. So you see the Avengers, every actor is looking their best, but it's a great amalgamation of genres which he has created, and he expects the stars to be in shape. And the hardest part was to stay in shape during the pandemic, because we had started an episode, the interval episode, and right then the pandemic came, and we had to shoot exactly the same right after the pandemic. So he used to call us and during the pandemic and check whether we are in shape, and we have not gone out of shape. So that was like a school dean or a principal calling us every week and checking if we did our homework.
And people went crazy about the dancing. And I think because part of it is, especially like from an American's perspective, when we get our action films, our action heroes aren't breaking out into song and dance. So I mean, it's just, you don't see Batman doing that. And you guys are superheroes in this film, and it just brings so much joy. That dance sequence to Naatu Naatu is so complex and synchronized.
Yeah.
What are you a trained dancer? What is your background that made you able to even do that?
I mean, in India, as a culture, for everything, for a festival, for a birthday party, for something sad, something happy, people break out into a dance. So it is there in our culture, I guess, and that's why it is there in our films. And it is a unique way of making a film, but it is what it is. That is India. And we are used to this genre, and I'm so happy that you guys were introduced to this genre with RRR. And the reception I saw in the Chinese theater the other day, wow, it turned into a music festival while they were watching such a serious drama film.
What was it like working with NTR Jr. on this and just going head to head like that with another actor?
Yeah, I think I had a great time working. He's such a brilliant talent. And also we were friends for a long time. And we had this great camaraderie happening between us. And I think Mr. Rajamouli saw that it can, taking this camaraderie subject, which he was casting it, it only made his job easy because it was exactly depicting what we are outside as a normal person. And the way we both portrayed our characters, also, I felt personally they were very similar to who we were in real as well. And NTR is always out there, and I'm a more internal guy. So this was pretty much very close to who we are in real.
What for you was the most challenging aspect for your character and playing your role?
I think having a roller coaster right within him, he was a volcano bursting out. He can burst out with the number of emotions that he's holding himself since he was a kid, and yet having a very calm demeanor outside and not letting anybody know what he's going through in every single scene, even if it's a normal scene with Beam, if it's a scene with somebody he shares with his partner, the other guy who knows what he's going through, or any scene apart from that, it was very difficult to keep it so subtle and not be overloaded with the emotions that he's carrying in the film. And then he only bursts out in anger when with his boxing bag, that was the only moment you actually see how much he's holding with him. And cut to get out, you wear your uniform, and you got to keep it so subtle. And I had a great experience shooting the flocking scene. So difficult for me because here I am whipping this best friend of mine who I've shared such a beautiful relationship until that. And now it's a complete arch rivalry that is building. There's so much of misunderstanding. I would love to convey to my friend that there is a reason why I'm doing this, but I'm tied by my duties as a British cop, and what I'm doing is not what I want to do. So keeping that emotion inside, you have to look like you are on a duty. And it's very, very intense. I felt the way the way Beam looks at me like somebody who has completely turned back on his friendship and the camaraderie. And yeah, that was a very difficult scene as an actor, I felt.
Yeah. What's your relationship with SS Rajamouli, and what do you love so much about working with him, because you've done multiple films with him now?
Yeah, this is my second film with him, and what interests me and what loves and what keeps me going back to him whenever he calls me is every time you have learned so much and you are so well prepared as an actor. When he narrates a story and when you get onto his sets, you feel there is so much more to learn. He is a person who challenges you personally to prepare for a role, and he challenges you an actor. He always brings out something new, which not only he, but the audience have never seen it and you have never experienced it. And that is something for me. It's like a learning experience. It's like going back to school and coming out with a distinction.
What was the most exhausting, torturous day for you?
I think I think shooting the Naatu Naatu song for 12 straight days was the most exhausting. Talking about it, my knees still wobble because I remember I had an injury on the sets, but not during the filming, but little off the camera. And I'd had a ligament tear, my ACL tore. It was a second-degree tear. I was off the shoot for 3 months, and I was in this rehab for 3 months, getting ready. And right after I came back, I remember we went straight to Ukraine to shoot the Naatu Naatu song. I was scared to bits whether I could pull it off. But somehow, I don't know, I think the rehab was great, and we did Naatu Naatu, and we are here today getting an award for a song, which I was so scared to do.
What did they do while you were out for 3 months? Was it paused, or were they filming other things?
I'm sure they had a few scenes planned to fill up these gaps when we are not there, but not much. Pretty much the shoot was stalled and everybody probably was preparing to go to Ukraine and the follow-up schedules. Just the prep work was happening.
Because this was a long shoot regardless, right? I mean, how much of your life did you dedicate to this film without doing anything? 3 years.
3 years.
Wow.
We were stuck. And of course, there is an 8 months of that pandemic thing, which everybody was stuck in our houses. But apart from that, yeah, 3 solid years, 320 days of actual shoot.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
You grew up in a family that is full of actors. What's that like to be part of a family and have that kind of support where you all understand each other? And
yeah, I mean, I can't ask for better. It's a great platform to kickstart being in a film family. But at the same time, there's a lot of pressure to perform because they're always constantly comparing to your dad and the other actors in the family. But I think I work best under pressure and under such scrutiny. Otherwise, I think I'll be a lazy bum. So I love it. I love it. It only helps me to push myself forward. It's beautiful, though.
And one of the things that really helped push this thing globally, at least in America, from what I've seen, was Netflix. And I think streamers have really become a tool for people to use to bring these cultures and different cinema from across the world together and make it more accessible. Do you feel like that was a big push for you? And what do you think the future is in terms of all of us sort of melding our films together worldwide?
100% right. I think the OTT platform, Netflix, had played a huge part in exposing us to the West and the East. And at the same way, we also were exposed to so many films that was happening, Spanish and Koreans and other countries. I think it's the best thing that happened. Yes, keeping aside the downside of a pandemic, what we all went through, the upside was we were exposed and they were exposed to all of us. And I think that was the main reason you're right, why we are also sitting here. And in the future, I think the world is coming together on many aspects in terms of business. And it's high time that film will become a global thing. And I hope we burn all the woods and become global cinema soon.
But there's still also nothing like seeing it in a theater. And I heard about, the Chinese theater reception that when you were here in LA at the Chinese theater and just 950 people in there cheering, coming to see you in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
That has to feel good to just get that sort of crowd reaction and feed off of that.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort people have put in that night to come and see our film in such a horrible weather that night. But I was so enamored by the love they have for cinema, not just for RRR, I think. And it turned out to be one of the biggest music festival stage over there. I
Yeah.
felt like I was in Winterland, one of those music festivals that happened. They were enjoying at the same time when there was an intense scene happening. They were in their seats, grasping that emotion and crying with us, laughing with us, dancing with us. It was beautiful. The number of genres that came together. It's action, musical, thriller, everything in one film, and they enjoyed every nuances, every dialogue so beautifully. It was so great. I mean, just to see people reacting the same way we would like to react when we were doing it.
And you had role models in your own family, but when you were growing up, did you have any Hollywood stars that you just loved to see on screen, or anyone that you looked up to?
I mean, I never missed. I mean, it's the cliche, but I never missed the Brad and Tom films. They were somebody I looked up to when I was growing up, and seeing them again in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Top Gun Maverick, man, they don't age. They are the same. Especially Tom, for 38 years, he looks the same, and he's only getting better at his stunts and keeping us so uh, so close to him as fans of his, and not letting us go.
Yeah. Well, we hope to see you for decades more to come as well. Ram, it was so much fun to speak to you about this movie, RRR. People, if you haven't seen it, I think everyone has, but if you haven't, it's still available on Netflix. And thanks for talking to me today about RRR. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you, Denton. Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you.